Therani to all of you. Today I would like to discuss few points regarding a transformation. The transformation of I. Transformation, the word we have heard many times before. It talks about, it speaks out regarding changes in life. Changes for the better. And wouldn't we like to change the world, change our neighborhood, change the society that we live in, change our families, change the living style that we have been going forward with? We would like to change many things, my friends, but the real transformation happens somewhere deep within oneself. So when we actually speak about change, change itself is a transformation of a person. And this transformation happens in quite a different way than we actually think that it actually happens. So today, I would like to point out or bring few ideas so that you can contemplate on this and maybe see for yourself how this I or yourself transforms into different things, mainly feelings, emotions, and reactions. The transformation of I happens in many different ways. I'll give you a very small example of this. Say for an example that a person is speaking to you in a very harsh tone, in a very angered manner. The person is very angry with you and who is speaking to you in that way. What happens to this I who is within you? Immediately you start reacting, and the transformation of I, or yourself rather, the transformation of I starts to develop into a defense level. When you start developing this I into a defense level, it automatically connects with hate, pain, and therefore you transform yourself into these hateful ideas and painful ideas. And this is the reaction which the I transforms into. And this is what you would be reacting with, to the anger which is being thrown at you. It could be just words that another person is speaking to you. But immediately with that, the I who is within you transforms into something completely different. That happens because of the pain which is inside, and that pain creates a hateful feeling which is within you, and you react in this hateful way. The thoughts which are coming out of you would be in a hateful way. The words that are coming out of you would be nasty, basically speaking. So, in one small example, you can see how a person who is angered by something else, some different circumstances, when that person speaks out to you, how you react in a complete different way, and how this I transforms within you into something completely different. In the same manner, I would like to take another example. For an example, if you are faced with a situation and another person is extremely jealous of you, again, this I transforms into something a bit different again. With that information that you're collecting from outside, another person who is very jealous of you and who is speaking very in a way that is completely different, then this I transforms into another defensive system. The I transforms this defensive system and it brings down your confidence level. The self-confidence which is within you starts to melt away, starts to disappear. And because of this jealousy, the feeling of jealousy thrown at you from outside, within you, this transformation starts happening. The I transforms into self-defense, and also another part of you starts to question yourself. It starts to question in a different way, which you can't actually handle. If you get to the point that you can't handle this, then what happens is within yourself, you will start losing confidence of yourself. So that's another way that this I can transform into something completely different that you wouldn't even notice unless you really pay attention to your mind and how your mind actually starts working. So we spoke about anger and how the defense system creates the transformation, creates the hateful ideas within you. And we spoke about the transformation when a person who is very jealous and starts speaking to you, how this I transforms into something a little bit different again with the defensive system. And ultimately, little by little, you start actually losing self-confidence within yourself. So that's another way that this I suddenly transforms into something completely different. And again, I would like to point out to you, friends, how this I transforms into something a little bit different this time. If we take kindness, if somebody cares for you, and if somebody is very kind to you, and who is speaking with very kind words to you, how does this I transform in that level? Immediately, your defense system starts to react in a total opposite way. You lose the defensive method. You start to melt and you start to react very kindly towards that person, or in a manner which is very caring, because you get that reaction from outside, and immediately this I transforms into something a little bit different this time, with a caring feeling, with caring words, with kind words, so that this other person also reacts in the same way. So then again, another way to look at this is, if somebody is generating a lot of love and shows you a lot of love, then again this I transforms into a different level. Again, the defensive system goes down, and then you start to react in this same way. So what I'm trying to highlight here, or you will start seeing the underneath meaning of this conversation that I'm trying to build up and trying to get through to you, is how can a person who is outside of you, the society at large, your friends, family maybe, partners or loved ones, when they react, how does your feeling of I transforms into some certain stages which are neutral at certain times, but certain two extremes at other times. So in other words, my friends, this also means that the control of this transformation of I is actually completely, you have given away the control of I to all sorts of situations which are manipulated out of you, or in the society at large, or through your friends and family. So that means another person who is actually outside can actually take control of you and of I, and makes this transformation within you. Now this actually happens not because of a person who is outside and treating you in a loving way, or in a kind way, or in a hateful way, or in a very jealousy way, or anything like that, which is actually outside the system. But I want you to start looking at how you yourself starts transforming this I in different languages according to the situation which is outside. Because, friends, this is what we have been doing right through our life. We have been always giving the control to the outside. And this outside, we think that the control is outside actually. But the control was never outside. The control is actually within us. It's we who choose to give this control outside. So when the control is outside, we always think the situations is beyond us. If that person reacts in a very nice way, I will be able to react in a nice way. If that person is reacting in a very kind way, I will be able to react in a kind way. If that person is very loving to me, yes, I will be able to show love towards that person. If that person does this, I will be able to do this. This is our general opinion about life at large. But is that the truth? Is that what it really is? Is that what life governs with? I want you to think about these points. Or is it you who makes this transformation within yourself, always creating a yourself or an I, just taking situation by situation in a complete opposite direction and just reacting from one situation to the other? If you actually start thinking about what you're going to do and what you're going to say towards the reaction that you're getting from outside, you will be able to have a better control of this transformation of I. And that will lead into a situation at large that you can actually handle and actually control. Why do you need to give this control totally to another person when you yourself should be in control of your feelings and of your emotions? Just think about the times that you have been hurt. Think about situations that you have been challenged with, was very difficult to deal with. In those situations, there are definitely certain things that is beyond your control. But then there are other situations that you could have reacted, or you could have taken the situation into your control rather than letting the situation control you. So this transformation part of I is extremely important. And if you actually practice this, this is the Dhamma path. This is called the Arya Ashtangika Marga, the eightfold path, which is practicing the path. If you start this, you are actually in deep Vidarsana or deep Vipassana, because you are looking at your mind, looking at how the mind is dealing with a certain situation which is completely in the outside world. And the reaction that you make is always, my friends, within yourself. You make the decisions of how to react, of how to transform this I. You can either choose to transform this I in a very lustful way, in a very hateful way, in a neutral way, or you could choose to govern these reactions. The transformation of I, you can choose to govern it rather than the transformation governs you with different situations. So I would like if you could just take one day at a time and then see how you emotionally react to certain situations without even thinking about it. And then go back and start thinking about it. Start analyzing the situation that you are going to deal with, the situation which has presented to yourself, which has been presented to yourself. If you analyze that situation, if you just take few minutes, this does not take one hour, 2 hours to do. Just few minutes to analyze the exact situation that you are being presented. Not that you're dealing with, the situation that you are presented with. Now, you can choose to react in different ways for this same situation. You can take your time to bring out the reaction that you need. This is something that we just do not understand and that we don't practice. We don't know how to say no, and we don't know how to take the time. When a situation is presented, why should we react immediately? If we take the time to analyze exactly what the situation is, we can transform this I, or transform yourself into the exact way that you want to react. The exact answer that you want to bring out. The exact words that you want to be heard of. So this way, my friends, you react to situations in a complete different way. You are in control of the situation rather than the situation controlling you all the time. This transformation part of the I speaks in many, many different languages. It speaks to us in different ways. If you can take time to really think of how you are going to present yourself, how you are going to make this transformation of I within yourself and then react to the situation, you will understand this Deshana, this talk, even more deeply. And that will create a better mind frame within yourself as well. It will give you more time. It will give you a wider spectrum of answers that you can choose, that the way you should handle the situation. So the transformation of I is within you and it is not outside of you. And when we start doing this, we actually start transforming ourselves deeply within ourselves. And this transformation leads to many things. For an example, if you take a work situation among your colleagues, among your friends, when you take time to understand the transformation which is happening within yourself, the defense level that you're building within yourself, or the defense level that you're actually melting within yourself, in both extremes, you will understand the way that you should react to certain situations, the best answers that you should give, the best opinions that you could come up with, the best strategic planning that you could make. If you just take the time to actually listen to the mind, see through the mind, analyze through the mind, without reacting to every little thing which is actually happening out of you and which you have no control because it is outside. But you do have a control of the transformation that you're making within yourself. And that is what matters, because that is what gives you the right answers to handle certain situations in a better way. So my friends, I would like to invite you today to go through this journey, to take your time, to understand yourself through the transformation of I, and to see how your mind actually transforms from one situation to the other situation. And what is the first reaction that you will have? What is the first answer that you are going to give? And if when you take time to understand the transformation which is happening within you, that when you're actually identifying this process, you will come out with better plans and better answers. And that will make a better I within you, because you would have understood the transformation of I. Therani.